Well, good evening. I hope that your family is well. I hope that everything is going well in your world today. I know there are a lot of things going on. I know there are a lot of people that need our prayers, and I just want to know that our elders, that our ministers, Mike and myself, and Jared as well, of course, have spent a lot of time praying for you individually, for you and your family, and just know that you're loved, know that you're being prayed over. I do think there's a lot of good that's going on in our world today. It's just kind of hard to see it. I want to talk to you this evening about something that I struggle with. I've talked about being busy before, and I've even talked about Psalm 46 before. But I think this thought, this idea that we see that we're going to take a look at is something that we really need to be reminded of. As we study the Psalms in general, Psalms were originally written as songs. As far as I know, no one in here or no one in our congregation speaks Hebrew. So I don't think it's going to sound very musical. If you're reading from an English Bible, it's not going to sound musical. If you are not a child of Israel, if you're not Hebrew yourself, then you're not going to appreciate Hebrew poetry either. So what we're going to read is not going to sound like a song. But it's something that the children of Israel, as they were going about their days, these are things that they would sing. These are things that would continually be on their hearts. So listen to this. Try to see the message. Try to appreciate it for what it originally was. Psalm 46, starting in verse 1. God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore we will not fear, though the earth gives way, though the mountains be moved into the heart of the sea, though its waters roar and foam, though the mountains tremble at its swelling. There is a river whose streams make glad the city of God, the holy habitation of the Most High. God is in the midst of her. She shall not be moved. God will help her when morning dawns. As the nations rage, the kingdoms totter. He utters his voice, the earth melts. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our fortress. Come, behold the works of the Lord, how he has brought desolations on the earth. He makes wars cease to the end of the earth. He breaks the bow and shatters the spear. He burns the chariots with fire. Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our fortress. The 10th verse there is one that we are all familiar with. It says, be still and know that I am God. You know, it's easy to understand things intellectually. It's easy to understand with our head something. And that could be anything. But it's difficult to apply that to our heart. And this is no exception. When you read the story, when you read through the psalm, you see some pretty crazy things happening. He starts out by saying, God is our refuge and our strength, a very present help in trouble. Again, something that we know with our heads, but have trouble applying with our hearts. But listen to where he goes after that. Therefore, because we know that God is our refuge and strength, we will not fear though the earth gives way, though the mountains be moved into the heart of the sea, though its waters roar and foam, though the mountains tremble at its swelling. This is a pretty dramatic event. This is something that would truly shake you to your core, no pun intended. But as he talks about this story, we see this God who is incredibly powerful. It says that he utters his voice and the earth melts. That's power. No matter what's going on around us, no matter how bad things get, we can see that our God is more powerful than all of that. But will we see it, though? Will we understand that that is true? That's where verse 10 comes in. Be still and know that I am God. Our world around us is in a state of chaos. Our economy has been upended. The world's economy has been truly turned upside down. It's easy to focus on all of the bad things. It's easy to get sucked into all of the political rhetoric and all of the doomsday theories that are out there. But there's something more to that. It's not just this time of chaos. This is something that's been going on since the beginning of time. Things have gotten bad over and over and over again. And yet God has always been God. God has always been faithful to His people. Throughout all of the natural disasters, throughout all of the sicknesses, throughout all of the diseases, God has always been faithful to His promises. Historically, it's during those times where it is bad that the church grows, that the church expands, that people return to God in huge numbers. It's easy to focus on the negatives. It's easy to see all of the bad things, the people that are sick, the doctors that are tired. It's easy to focus on things like toilet paper shortages. But if we take the time to truly look at this event in the big picture, there's a lot of good that's happening. It's in a sense, we've been given a set of training wheels. We're being pushed back to those things that are truly the most important. We're being forced to spend time at home. More time than we're used to, or at least most of us. We're being reminded of what's most important. It's easy to take things for granted. God designed us in such a way that our brains are truly incredible machines. And a part of their efficiency, the way that they work, is we do things over and over again. We do things repetitively, and we learn to do them on autopilot, in a sense. For those of you that drive, how many times have you gotten home and realized you don't remember driving home? Have you ever done that? It's kind of a scary thing, but that's the way that our mind works. We do things on autopilot to be more efficient. A lot of times we go to work and come home. We pick up the kids, we focus on getting dinner on the table, we eat, we focus on our bedtime routines, we focus on baths, we focus on all of those things that have to happen on a daily basis. We focus on getting the kids in bed, we focus on finishing up our work. Whatever it is, we have this routine established that we go through. And we're focusing on the routine so much so that we lose sight of what's right in front of us. We lose sight of the blessings that we're surrounded with. One thing that this time at home has brought to me is, really just how blessed I am. As Americans, we're surrounded by excess. We're surrounded by more than enough of everything. We have food. We have clothing, we have shelter, we have what we need. And as things may get more difficult, I hope that we can truly focus on how blessed we are. Not on how hard things may be or how, we can't go to our Mexican restaurant that we love and eat bowl after bowl of chips and salsa. Trust me, that's something that I've thought about. But I hope that we can focus on the blessings that we have right in front of us. You see, it's in times that we be still that we can appreciate what we have. You can spend all day studying the Bible, and you can learn all of the knowledge that's contained therein. But until you have time to sit and to reflect and to process what you've read, you'll never really grow. The knowledge will stay up here and not down here. See, God's Word has the power to transform our lives. But we have to make time for that to happen. We have to slow down. We have to stop and see what God has done. And it's so easy to skip over that part. It's so easy to focus on the knowledge. It's so easy to focus on our routines that we skip over our blessings. It's so easy to focus on the facts and skip over our God. I hope that as we continue our time on this period of social isolation, that you can learn to look for blessings. We're truly in a time that we've never experienced. We don't know how to deal with. We don't know how to handle it. But I know that if we focus on our blessings, this time can be incredibly beneficial. Thank you so much for spending our time together. I hope that you can join us again as we continue to study the letter to the Romans next week, that you continue to grow on your own, that you continue to watch out for those that are in need. Thank you so much, and have a great rest of your day.